investigate. There's not gonna be much to investigate, I would think, if she was poisoned. I better check Monokuma's file before anything else. The victim was Sakura Ogami. The time of death is estimated to be around 12. Oh, so this is the first one that didn't take place at nighttime. Most of the deaths have taken place during nighttime. Well, other than Yamada, but that's a little bit different. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. However, it seems that at some point the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood. So wait, the death was a blow to the head? Interesting. I think the case this time might be a challenge. Why is that? The only way into the rec room is the door we just came through. And that door had been jammed shut with a chair from the inside the rec room, which means the killer would have had to escape somehow after barring the door. So if the door was blocked from the inside and there was no way in or out till we broke the window, there's little, like, zero escape, right? In other words, this is a classic locked room murder. Locked room murder? I guess you might see this kind of thing a lot in a mystery movies or books or whatever, but could it really happen in real life and right before our very eyes like this? Are you curious to hear more about what a locked room murder is? I'm curious about that. Sure, if you don't mind. When you break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. The first type is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed, which we know that's not the case. This simply means that the killer commits his crime, then through some special method seals the room. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving the locking of the room. His basic approaches includes using a string or simple mechanism. I could see somebody using a string to put the chair in place. There are a number of variations, so for that, all we'd have to do is check the door to see if that's what it was, right? The second type is when the locked room already exists because a crime is committed. Oh, what?
In other words.
Basically, the killer uses a special contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. So they would lock the door, or no, they would. That's interesting. So they'd use a contraption outside to kill the person when the room was already locked. You push the switch and it fires a handgun. You shoot an arrow through a gap in the door, something like that. But in this case, that doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns or arrows in the school, and that the door doesn't have any gaps that would allow it. Yeah, I think we can probably cross that one off the list.
True.
The third type is when the killer stays in the room until it's opened up. But there was nobody else in this room other than Sakura, unless Sakura killed herself. Because I think Sakura was so depressed she might have poisoned herself. And then the killer thought she was just sleeping and took this, took this moment to like pounce on her because, she's so strong that they could get her while she's sleeping, and came up behind her and smacked her in the head. But they actually didn't know that she had taken poison, so she was gonna die anyways, but they thought she was just sleeping, so they smacked her. So I think she tried to poison herself because she was so depressed, and then somebody took advantage of her sleeping, even though she was slowly dying, and then smacked. What do you mean by that?
In other words.
I say hidden, and when the door is open, they use the confusion to blend in with the group. They pretend they showed up along with everyone else, and that's that. That sounds like it could have been possible, maybe. And the fourth and final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all. Not a locked room, but that by that I mean there actually is an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. You see, this is a lot of novels and things, but in reality, it's generally not possible. And you think we can cross that one off too? I believe so, yes. So when it comes to the locker room mystery, those are the basics. There are 4 possibilities, and Coco, which of those 4 choices seems the most likely in this case? That's a good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during this trial. But right now, I can't really say. I see. The way the killer set up the locked room, until I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will stay hidden. You'll like this trial. It's fun and sad. You'll like this trial. It's fun and depressing. Thanks. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate. I'm curious how they locked the room. That is kind of curious. For Sakura, if nothing else. Okay, yeah, so, because I was like, I'm really curious. My assumption is already leading to, she tried to poison herself. Somebody took advantage of her being in, like, comatose mode and smacked her. I also don't think it's Hina. I highly doubt it's Hina. I don't think it's Coco. I think it's either Byaku or Genocide Jill that did it. I don't think Hiro would do it either. Let me talk to Byaku. Let me talk to all of them first. What do you want? You're bothering me. Go away. Oh, well, fine. He's not even trying to hide how much he despises me. I'd better be good. Oh, fine. I thought we were friends. We hung out the other day. But for Sakura to have been killed, yeah, she's not the type who would have gone down without a fight.
It's true.
And she certainly didn't, I would say, she was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body and mind and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken her by surprise, right? Certainly, they would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her. What about Hina? We already know who did it. Byaku, Toko, Hiro, it had to be one of them. They couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. And let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all three of them to meet with her, you know, where, right here in the rec room. Wait, she asked for them all to meet her in the rec room? Really? Why? Oh, probably to, like, ease their stress about her being the spy. What? After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own, but when I saw her again after that, she told me said she'd left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon, the Makoma file said she died right around then. I'm telling you the truth, I heard it right from Sakura herself. Could they have all worked together? But no, accomplices doesn't make sense in the game. And I tried to stop her, but she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I'd stopped her by forcing even this, never would have... Oh, don't blame yourself, Hina. Hina, it's impossible not to have regrets, I know. So the account of her, of Sakura meeting everybody at noon, but the fact that she had asked those three to meet with her, and she asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place, she ended up dying. It might be good to confirm what I just heard with the three of them directly. Well, I can talk to or I can talk to Byaku. What? Do you have anything to say for yourself? What do you mean? You want to bother me? There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her here in the rec room? So you found out. Interesting. Then it's true. I did receive a note to that effect, yes, but what fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster? So you didn't go see her. Of course not. I ripped that note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Byaku says he didn't go to see her. Is that true? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept that fact.
Come on.
Toko, I'm not gonna lie, I shipped Negi and Toko. Oh, you had Egi and Coco relationship together? I could still Toko with him and sometimes with Hina. Interesting. Toko's fine with him, to be honest. She's probably the only person who likes... I was gonna say, isn't like Toko the only one that likes Byaku? Yeah, but Togami hates her. She reminds him of past trauma. Oh, interesting. That's why his way... That's interesting. I didn't realize... That's interesting. If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my site. Oh, okay, thanks. I have to find that note, though, to make it... Because if he ripped it up, then it should be in a trash somewhere, and I could prove it. So I talked to everybody, so now I just need to find the clues. Why am I looking at the chair? The chair was shoved up against the doorknob, so we couldn't get the door open. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the chair. In other words, there's no reason to think that the chair had anything special done to it. So that rules out one thing. There's some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance of the room. That's the protein.
So...
Somebody probably switched the protein with poison. It looks like a protein drink and it's empty. Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loves her protein. She mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments. I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you. I know. But still, this protein can. It's got a lab label on it that says chemical A2. That reminds me, Sakura mentioned how the chem lab had all kinds of health stuff. She must have gotten this from the chem lab.
Just a second.
That's strange. Huh, what is? You see what's scattered around the can? Glass? We talking about glass? Sort of light blue glass. They must be part of the window I broke to get inside.
Correct.
But they aren't just scattered around the can, they are also underneath it. Which means that the cup fell on top of the glass. Which means it was probably on the chair, so when so he broke the window, and then when he moved the chair, it also moved the cup. They're underneath it. What does that matter? I can't say for sure yet, but you're probably gonna want to take a note of that. I feel like it'll become an important clue later on. Important clue, I'm not sure to see how it is. It means that the glass window broke before it fell down. Makoto, use your big brain. Use your big eggy brain. The clock. I don't think the clock is actually important. It's around 1 o'clock right now, so it's only been an hour? According to Makoto, Sakura died around noon, so roughly an hour ago. Was that when Coco and I were moving Alter Ego? So I know it wasn't Coco, because she was with it. Oh, by the way, Suji said Sakura died. The person she talked about was her BF me thing, since you didn't get to the rating. Oh, so when she was talking about I remind him of him, it was her boyfriend. Is that the person she also could never beat in battle was her boyfriend? Let me see. I'm looking at everything in the room first. So there is a bottle missing. I see that there's a bottle missing. There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. And inside each bottle, there's some kind of Monokuma figurine. What I'm wondering is how they get those figurines inside the bottle. There's a bottle missing. Makoto. Yeah, I think it's no different from your standard ship in the bottle, huh? You know, where the bottle opens into it, opening is smaller than the boat it placed inside. You've never seen that? Oh yeah, maybe I have. Words. So this is a Monokuma version of that, a Monokuma bottle, if you will. Monokuma bottle has been added. That's the reason we add it? I'm so confused. There's blood over there. I just noticed that. Hold on, let me look at the blood. So does that mean she was smacked in the head while she was like looking at comics? Like maybe she was looking at a comic strip and then she got smacked? There's blood sitting in front of the magazine shelf. This must have been come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? Unless she vomited blood, because I know they said that she was vomiting blood, so maybe she vomited over there? The comic books? I don't think the comic books have anything. The safe shelf full of magazines. There are all different kinds of magazines here. Thanks for that lovely information. So what is the piece of paper? This looks like some kind of wrapper. Oh, that's... Do you recognize it, Hina? Well, yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a little. So you gave that candy to Sakura? I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like them. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them. You really like them that much. I mean... But I wanted Sakura to get a chance to try one for herself. That's... What happened if somebody tried to kill Hina but actually killed Sakura? Like, I wonder if somebody, like, slipped into Hina's room, poisoned her candy, and then Hina gave one to Sakura, trying to be nice, and then in actuality, Hina poisoned her on accident. But now they've lost all their flavor. Hina. Poor Hina. Polka dot wrapper has been added. I like how it shows it with the candy still intact. Who knows? This looks like one of the red bottles that I said is missing. There's shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red, and there are the top and bottom sections of the bottle, right? So this must be originally been a bottle. Glass shards on the floor have been added. Huh, there's something else on the ground near the glass. Oh, it's a figurine. It's a figure. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure. Figure on the floor. It's the night piece. I need to keep that in mind. It's the night piece. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of the of things little by little. The Monokuma bottle sitting on the shelf. There's two missing though. There's two bottles missing. So where's the other bottle that's missing? We found on the ground. The red shards of glass which probably started out as a bottle, which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with a Monokuma bottle, right? Shards of glass and the Monokuma figure are evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say that Monokuma's bottle was the weapon. Yeah, no doubt. So it's just, we'll check out Sakura. Sakura drew her last breath sitting slumped forward in this chair. There's obvious evidence of the blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally I wouldn't have any problem believing that's what killed her, but according to Monokuma's files, she had also vomited blood. And I can see a trace of blood on her lips for sure. So what would have caused her to vomit blood? Monokuma's file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Sakura's status of Sakura's body has been added to the truth bullet section of her handbook. Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood. Not a chance. Byaku. However, your eyes have landed on a most interesting location. Interesting? Yes, most interesting, don't you agree? No, I don't think I'd call it interesting. What it does make me wonder, the reason Sakura vomited blood obviously has to be connected to why she died. Poison, Makoto. The locker's open and there on the inside, it's a handprint. Why? What's a handprint doing here? Looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and it left a handprint in all the dust. True. It looks quite fresh too. I'd say someone was hiding here in the locker and they left behind a little something extra. So then maybe the killer hid in here until the locker room was open, don't you think? Oh, so the person who was, because the room was locked, and she said that one of the ways that the room could have been locked is that the person who killed hid in the room until everybody showed up and then slowly came out of the locker. But if that's the case, Hina would have said one of them was missing. Hina would have been like, hey, everybody's here except for blah, blah, blah. Like, I found Hiro and Toko, but I wasn't able to find Byaku, kind of thing, which she didn't. And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group. Unfortunately, that's not a possibility, huh? Hey. Why not? Think back before you opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? Oh, the locker was already open. That's right, I remember that. Oh yeah, and the locker was already open at the point.
Indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. Yeah, so then, what does this handprint mean? Locker handprint has been added. So that's everything, right? This door is the only way in or out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock where there is no evidence that the mountings have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window, which happened, of course, when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of strings or mechanism was used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt that the reason the door didn't open was simply because a chair was shoved up against it. This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening, and there was no evidence of the door or the chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created the locked door from the inside, not from the outside. What happens if what do you call it? Sakura blocked the door? What happens if Sakura was trying to die in peace and she blocked the door so that she wouldn't be disturbed? Momokoto, have you finished with your general? Maybe. Yeah, I think so. So for the most part, and you should probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard, so I can't leave. Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. Oh, okay. She's decided. She's gotten a lot more pushy since we had our issue. But she's right. I do have to go talk to the others. Sakura wanted me to meet with two other people. I need to hear what they have to say. I'm trying to leave, but you won't let me leave, game. Thank you. Where are they? Those other two probably went back to their rooms. Let me just skiddly do down here. Thank you for fast warping names. So I'm looking for Hiro and Toko. Again, I wish their placards would go away after they die, so it was a little bit easier. Here's Toko. I press the doorbell. After a few seconds... Huh? Who's there? I have the most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay. Well, what do you want?
So you're back to normal.
Oh, she's talking.
Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach.
Oh, so she doesn't even like Genocide, Jill.
I was in such a good mood, too.
She didn't look like she was in a good... She didn't look like she... I was gonna say, you don't look like you're having the best time there, Toko.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
I'm gonna take that as a yes. Obviously, you know, Toko slithered out into the hall. Oh, no. Oh, okay.
What do you want?
What do you want? You said you wanted to talk to me about something. I wanted to talk about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you. What?
Well...
I don't know what you're talking about. Byaku told me she had asked to meet with him. But Byaku already told me she had asked to meet with him. What? She wanted to meet with Master too? Oh, I just said two, didn't I? I guess that was totally obvious, huh? Yeah, pretty much. So can you tell me about it? I admit I did get the note. But I didn't get to see her. I was so scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go see her, but can I really believe her? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept. Well, maybe Toko didn't see her, but maybe Jill saw her. Like, is that good enough? Then I'm going back to my room. And with that, Toko quickly retreated into her room. Toko's has been added to the truth. I don't know if I can add. So somebody's lying. Somebody went to go see her. Wait. Oh, that's Hiro's. I saw Hiro and I thought it was Leon. I think Hiro's like, yeah, Hiro's like all the way down here. I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds... What's up, Makoto? Did you need something? Yeah, actually, I just wanted to check something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you.
What?
How do you know about that?
Could it be?
What, did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have you special abilities awake? Have your special abilities awake? Let's not jump to conclusions here, sir. But I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. Ogre told me herself that she asked Byaku Toko to come too. What? When did Sakura tell you that?
What?
Oh, well, when she asked me to meet with her, of course. But did she write you a note? Yeah, a note. She,
How about that?
She gave it to me in person, and she happened to mention the others, like, in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super yeah, he's stumbling over his words a lot. So then you went and met with
Got it all
Sakura.
wrong.
No way, I totally didn't. Why would I ever do that? Yeah, definitely suspicious.
Actually,
The last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt and I took her to the nurse's office.
Don't look at me.
I haven't seen her since then. While I'm here, could you show me the note she gave you? I do still have it. Let's see. Hero was feeling around in his pockets.
Hey, come on.
Oh, sorry. It looks like I don't have it. Oh my god, Hero. You have one job. With a big goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. But when he did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something that had fallen out of Hero's pockets. The candy wrapper. I thought so. Somebody had access to the candy. Huh? Oh. Quick as a wind, Hero snatched it back up again and shoved it back into his pocket.
Hey, come on.
Are they making it that obvious that Hero did it? They wouldn't make it that obvious. Sorry, just a bit trash I forgot to throw out. Trash?
What?
Anyways, I can't deny that Ogre asked me to meet with me, but I never went. So, well, if you'll excuse me. Before waiting to reply, Hero quickly slipped back into his room. Hero said that it was just trash, but there's no way that's all there was to it. Oh, trash. Yeah. Okay, so I've heard from Toko and Hero. What next? I'll definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, maybe I should find out more about the protein powder we found on the floor of the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. So where should I start? To the chem lab!